I bought a brand new game from Amazon. However, things were not quite as it seemed. Now, I didn't record this, I didn't think anything of it, but this was a very strange situation that I came into, and when I asked around, this is a little bit more widespread than I initially thought. So, I bought a copy of 100 Days Wine Simulator. That's right, 100 Days Wine Simulator. Not a game that I think is going to be on everybody's list, but between you and me, one that is definitely worth trying out. It's a simulator game in which you basically are like have turn-based cards and you build your own wine empire. And you know me, I love my simulation games. I picked up that Big Pharma a few months ago at Doorway to Darkness, and I still play it from time to time. So a game like this on the Nintendo Switch is one that I wanted to have. So what happened? Well, this arrived from Amazon and the seal was slightly broken. Not enough to make me think, oh, this is a problem. Enough to make me go, oh, it's slightly open. Oh well, you know, it's been caught on somebody's finger when it's been put into the sleeve, into the Amazon box, or it's been damaged, or it's been caught on something. I didn't really think much of it. However, I took the rest of the seal off, and what was inside? Well, you're probably gonna guess. That's right, nothing. Now we're used to having Nintendo Switch games have very little in there. Sometimes you might get a little leaflet or a little booklet just kind of seeing DLC or little terms of service kind of thing I have noticed in them. But you would still expect a game. This isn't a code in a box. This isn't a digital key card. This is a full physical game that arrived with nothing. So what has evidently happened is somebody has taken the game out, kept the seal on, and returned it to Amazon for a refund. Of course, me wanting to play the game, initially clocked onto that, and I was just like, oh, that doesn't look right, it doesn't look right. I was like, I'll just open it. Now, I have heard of these from time and time again. I have heard reports in America of people putting like little googly eyes in to make it look like there's something in there. I just never expected it to happen. And when I asked, I found out this was more widespread. Amazon, Argos, even places in America like Best Buy or Walmart, places that have good return experiences, places that, oh, you know, it's still sealed, return it for whatever reason. There does seem to be a big thing about people taking the game card out, keeping it sealed, and returning it for a full refund. Which means that the next person, because these companies, they put them straight back on the shelf, they put them back in the warehouse, so somebody else can order it, ends up getting it. Now the positive to this story is simple. Well, I contacted Amazon customer services, and I'm going to be honest, I hate contacting Amazon customer services because it's a very difficult process to even get in contact with people. But I explained it and they were like, oh well, can we have a picture? Here's your picture. Nothing. There's nothing in here. And I was kind of like, oh yeah, this is a kind of a weird one. And they were just like, oh, okay, well what we'll do is we'll give you a full refund and you can keep the box. Mint. So, what did I do? I ordered another one. I mean, I ordered Wine Simulator 100 Days. I was going to get 100 Days Wine Simulator. And fortunately for this story, this version came with the game. All that bother, only a tiny little cartridge. And yeah, I asked other people who collect and they was like, oh yeah, that happened to me once, but again, they got like a refund and stuff like that, which is a positive experience. It is nice to kind of see that these places will give full refunds, but it is something that you're going to have to be very aware of if you are collecting physical games, because if you're like me, I have a bunch of games where they are still sealed because I'm just never getting around to playing with them. Every single one of them has now been opened to ensure that the contents are in there. You can use a torch, you can also kind of like shine it against the window, like to kind of just see it. it's not ideal. You can kind of just, like, it is still a bit of a faff. You can kind of tell the telltale shadow of a cartridge being inside, but if you replace it with something else, it's going to be a little bit more awkward. So it's also one that is going to make me a lot more skeptical if I am buying a sealed game from a second-hand shop and stuff like that. It's not necessarily a second-hand shop, but like, you know, like eBay and stuff like that. Oh, it's still sealed, it's a game that's over £100, might not be in there. But 100 Days Wine Simulator, it's a fun game. I've very much enjoyed my experience with this one. It's one that I didn't expect much of, but you basically, it's like a turn-based strategy game, very similar to, say, Civilization, mixed in with stuff like Big Farm and stuff like that. I was expecting to plonk down like machines and all that kind of thing. Nope, you kind of get like little cards, and you've got like a 9x9 grid obviously at the beginning, and you put the cards down and those have different actions, and yeah, it's very more different to what I expected, but it was comfortable. I really enjoyed my experience with it, and you know what, it's one of those games where I think this could be considered a hidden gem. If you want a strategy title, I think it's one that you can have a lot of great moments with it. Not going to be for everybody, but it's going to be one that I think is worth checking out. And it just made the whole experience a little bit more bizarre in the fact that this is going to be a very niche title. Why would you need to just kind of steal it? And it makes me question when you see some of these, you know, cartridge only seals. What's happened? I choose to be positive. I choose to believe in people. I remember having a conversation at Cash Converters, and they had a bunch of where it was just like the card itself, and then I was just like, oh, I want that, but I don't want it like that. And they were like, oh, well, you can just buy the case online. And I was like, yeah, you can, but yeah, I'd rather just buy the whole thing. That's just me. What do you guys do? Do you just get a little bit of a bargain and get the cartridge only, or do you like the whole thing? I like the whole thing. It's just nicer on a shelf. So yeah, I now have 2 copies of 100 Days Wine Simulator. A game not for everybody, but it means that I can replace I've got a few games where I bought them from CX where they've kind of not aged too well, like the case, so I've got a new case, so brilliant. Awesome. This is where again the comments is just like, yeah, I've got a cartridge only of it. Who knows? Who knows? But if you found this helpful, if you have enjoyed this content, leave a like and consider subscribing. We've got plenty more content coming on the channel very soon, including an absolutely massive, and I mean a massive, Nintendo Switch haul. There's going to be some very limited stuff in there.